is also about Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. So I'll take a quote and then we'll go through the quote. Okay, several quotes actually. So this is about Henry Reardon, one of the good business people. And this passage I'm just trying to understand from the context. Where is this happening? Oh yes, now I remember. Yeah. So they are in a small town trying to go after a discovery they have made, and this is a description of a woman. The old woman looked on without reaction. She had stood there silently, watching without interest or purpose, like a chemical compound on a photographic plate, absorbing visual shapes because they were there to be absorbed, but unable ever to form any estimate of the objects of her vision. This made me think of some ideals in Eastern philosophy, ideals which I was following as well. In Hinduism, for instance, I think the term is sushumna, if I'm not mistaken, emptiness. In yoga as well, where they teach you that you should be empty. You should empty yourself of desires, of stereotypes, of values, of anything. You should simply be an empty vessel. And there is another story which is sometimes told from Chinese philosophy. Thank you for the like, whoever it is. Thank you very much. I encourage others to do the same and send likes my way, and also leave commentaries. Tell me where you guys are joining from. Last time I had a technical issue, like I couldn't see any commentaries, but then when I finished the live, I was told that there were 30 commentaries. So apologies if that technical problem happens again, but if I see your comments, I will be reading them. Okay. Oh, 2 people already gave me thumbs up. Thank you so much. Others, guys, I encourage you to do the same. So the other story from Chinese philosophy. So there's a young person that approaches an old master, and the person says, "Master, I want to learn new things. I know you are wise. I want to learn your secrets, your techniques." And the master starts pouring water into his teacup. And the teacup gets full, and the water starts to just go spill over the table and then on the floor. And the student is telling, "Master, what are you doing? The cup is full and the water is being spilled." And the master says, "This is your mind. If you want to learn from me, you have to empty yourself from anything you know." This is sometimes interpreted as a call towards total openness, open-mindedness. In that context, if you interpret it that way, being open to new things, sure, why not? But if it is interpreted as to blindly obey your master, to follow everything that he or she says without questioning, right? And being just this woman here, then it's not good. And also you could question the desire of the master as well. Yeah, why should I empty myself of everything? Why can I not filter what you're telling me through values and mental processes. Yeah. So that's, that can be a little tricky. And that type of obedience, or that type of zombified, I would call, transparency, where you are asked to only perceive without judgment, without values, without coloring, that, you could become like this woman. And sometimes when we are young, or we don't think around these things, we perceive those teachings as superior, superb, like, oh wow, that's so wise. I need to get rid of my ego. I need to get rid of my values. I should perceive everything equally. That can be, just like this woman here. Like, it means also getting rid of your emotions, like not coloring things as good or bad. It can mean that you need to perceive a murderer and his or her victim on the same level. That is pure perception as well. And unfortunately, that is happening a lot. Like, we have, historically, it was first Christianity. Like, in Christianity, Jesus Christ and his followers, in the Bible, they say, in Christ you are all one. Makes no difference whether you're a woman, a man, a Jew, a Gentile, etc., etc. So everyone is equal. And that equalization, like, if you're a sinner but you believe in Jesus, you are forgiven, So everybody would be forgiven. Someone who never committed a crime, and someone who was a murderer and a rapist throughout their lives. Like, if you believe in Jesus, you're forgiven. That's, it's killing justice. That's unjust. And unfortunately, from Christianity, that thing contaminated the political left as well. Through Marxism, like, Marx actually suggested those same ideas, like everybody is equal, blah blah blah, makes no difference whether you're a man, a woman, of this nationality, of that religion, as long as you are a worker, as long as you are the proletariat fighting against the oppressor. So it's the same promise of equality and equalization. And today in the political left, that is very, very common. Like, when people say that Jews who went through October 7 and Palestinians who organized that, including several thousand Palestinian civilians who were not from Hamas, who did not commit crimes prior to October 7. And when, people say, I only want there to be peace. I want Jews and Palestinians be friends. Or I want Ukrainians and Russians be friends. On the surface, that may seem like something beautiful, but if you go deeper, it's a twisted desire. It's a desire of, like, it's as if you were to say the rapist or the executioner and their victims should be friends. They should be equal. You want to perceive them both as equal human beings. And that's kind of, there is some depravity in it, if you ask me. So I will read this passage again. And this makes me remember a beautiful quote. Beware of your dreams, for they may come true. Like, if you want to become that type of Eastern enlightened person who doesn't care about anything, who has no desires, but that in itself is a desire, by the way. Not to have any desires is in itself a desire. You may end up like this, and you may corrupt your own thinking. By the way, in Hinduism also they have very interesting branches. It's not just one thing. They even have materialistic philosophies. And yoga is very rich. Like, in yoga you have also different schools and approaches. They have analyzed the mind in a very profound way. So when I speak of those Eastern philosophies, I don't want to say that all of them are worthless. Like in yoga, there are very interesting classifications of different abilities and faculties of the human mind. So that's very interesting as well, and it's worth studying. Okay. Okay. So one more time about this lady. She had stood there silently, watching without interest or purpose, like a chemical compound on a photographic plate, absorbing visual shapes because they were there to be absorbed, but unable ever to form any estimate of the objects of her vision. Ayn Rand. She's, she penetrates deep into the psychology of her characters. This is why Ayn Rand is so beautiful and so powerful for me. It's entertaining, it's educational, and the psychological layers and also, the economical layers she's giving you, it's astounding, astonishing. Thank you also to the third person who gave me thumbs up. Thank you, everyone, sending you hearts. Again, I do not see any comments. If you say, oh, there they are. There they are. Should keep going. So I should keep going even if it's difficult. What do you mean, Fluffy Felix? I do not get your question, to be honest. Hi there. Hi, Brandon. Hi, Caleb. Hello. Yeah, Brandon is like, yeah, he's not all right. So let's just leave him. Yes, Caleb. Hello there. Now I see your comments. Don't you think? Okay, that's someone responding to someone else. If you had one word to the world, what would it be? I would say reason. Reason. Okay, I think we can just ban Brandon because obviously he is adding zero value to the channel. Okay. Hi, Sake. Hi there. Okay. Hi there. Oh, hi, Lakid. You are joining us from Armenia. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And welcome. So here they are, your comments. It means I have to scroll manually. In the past, comments would just appear. Yeah. Great. So we have someone from Armenia. How about others? Where are you guys joining me from? Okay, let's take our next quote from Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Okay. Yeah, this is about economy and economics, maybe, especially leftist economics, Marxists, and when they equalize everything and try to control everything. So the union of locomotive engineers was demanding that the maximum speed of all trains on the John Gold Line be reduced to 60 miles an hour. The union of railway conductors and brakemen was demanding that the length of all freight trains on the John Gold Line be reduced to 60 cars. The states of Wyoming, New Mexico, Utah, and Arizona were demanding that the number of trains run in Colorado not exceed the number of trains run in each of these neighboring states. So this is very leftist. Yeah, this is very communist and socialist, trying to control everything and trying to put caps, like the minimum should be this, the maximum should be that, nobody should exceed those limits. And by doing so, they are killing industries. They are strangling businesses and creators and entrepreneurs. And this is why we have the phenomenon of offshore, when states and countries are getting too looter like, when they are looting the businesses, when they're strangling the businesses, those businesses naturally choose other states and other countries in order to be able to continue to generate a lot of profit. This is why business exists, yeah, and to function properly. So in the book, Ayn Rand shows in a very crafty way. When you go through the book, look at this, how thick it is. When you go through the book slowly, you see how this kind of strategy and collectivism destroys entire industries and cripples the economy of the country. And this is why I love free market capitalism, because in free market capitalism, I can generate my income legally the way I want, as long as I follow the law. As a private tutor, for instance, now I'm doing this live, and here in LA, it's 2:15 in the morning. But I do that because I'm not bothering my roommates, and fortunately it's not banned. But like also I can have I can create different types of content, including adult content, right, in the US. In developed countries, it is legal. Hi, gamer, where are you joining us from? But in socialism and communism, like in China, they banned OnlyFans recently, yeah? And they called it something like twisted or sick, something Western, yeah, etc. So I love freedom. And this is why I'm happy that I live under free market capitalism, where I choose when to go live, how many students to take, what type of content to create, etc. And all forms of collectivism, right-wing collectivism like nationalism, fascism, or left-wing collectivism like communism, Marxism, etc., they all are collectivist, and they want to control individuals, they want to control economies, they want to dictate the individual. You can do this, you can't do that. And in that, they are very similar to each other. In the desire to control and to regulate as many things as possible. Like, yeah, gamer, Illinois, okay, cool. I'm reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, okay? What time is it there, by the way? So, in that, collectivism is very toxic. All ilks of collectivism are very toxic because they want to regulate as many things as possible. Like here in the US with right-wing Christian nationalism, like where they force schools to have the Ten Commandments on the walls. That's as crazy as forcing people to study gender theory in elementary school, for instance, right? So whether right-wing collectivism or left-wing collectivism, whether it's in the name of Christians or Americans, like white Americans predominantly, or whether it's in the name of the working class, of women or gays, makes no difference. It's very ugly when collectivism tries to strangle individuals and dictate them. You can do this, you can't do that. So objectivism, the philosophy of objectivism that Ayn Rand created, is for the free spirit, the free mind, the free individual. Okay? And capitalism starts with your mind. Your mind is yours. Your body is yours. Your pocket is yours. That's free market capitalism, and that's objectivism. Right. And you guys can also write your own ideas. Like, do you agree with these quotes or not? What do you think? If you disagree with me, feel free to say so. Okay, I will read your comments as well. And I encourage others to give me thumbs up too. Right now, I have 3 thumbs up. Thank you to those 3 people. Others are invited to do the same. Okay, give me thumbs up. Okay, next. Now, the next quote from Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged is... oh yeah, this is James Taggart, or Jim. He called them Jim too. So, his philosophy. If you tell a beautiful woman that she is beautiful, what have you given her? It's no more than a fact, and it has cost you nothing. But if you tell an ugly woman that she is beautiful, you offer her the great homage of corrupting the concept of beauty. To love a woman for her virtues is meaningless. She's earned it. It's a payment, not a gift. But to love her for her vices is a real gift, unearned and undeserved. To love her for her vices is to defile all virtue for her sake. And that is a real tribute to love, because you sacrifice your conscience, your reason, your integrity, and your invaluable self-esteem. Oof, this feels so wrong, so twisted, so ugly. Oh, thank you to the other, to the 4th person who gave me thumbs up. Thank you so much. So this is James Taggart, the bad rich guy. So a lot of people think that Ayn Rand is the advocate of all the rich people, which is false. In her novels, especially in this one, like in Atlas Shrugged, you have different types of rich folks, including very corrupt ones. And James Taggart is, one of those personifications. He's a president at the railroad, but he inherited everything, and he doesn't have those values. His grandfather created that railroad, and James Taggart is ungrateful, illogical. He's not interested in integrity, in maintaining the business, etc. He's interested in power, in looting, like in abusing his power in order to extort wealth from others. And Ayn Rand demonstrates this kind of people and their behavior brilliantly in her novel as well. So she's not always advocating for the rich. She criticizes the rich and the powerful as well. If they are looters or moochers, if they are trying to steal and rob or cripple real businessmen and entrepreneurs through bad legislation. Okay, so this passage, like when I read it, it feels so powerful in the wrong way. Like when this guy uses terms such as defile, or defile all virtue, or corrupting the concept of beauty. Like, and this is real, unfortunately, like with those pro-Palestinian folks. Once I had an exchange of ideas with a very pro-Palestinian woman, and she, like, I told her, because you are queer and because you're a woman who doesn't cover her body, her hair, etc., you would be unalivened on many accounts in Palestine. Like for if you're an atheist, for your atheism, if you politically oppose theocracy, and which she does, etc., for your being queer, lesbian, etc. And her response, like, so what? Let them kill me. And she spread her hands, like in a very religious gesture, opening up her chest, like she was Jesus Christ. And that's what they are doing. They are defiling virtues. They are corrupting reason. They are sanctioning, they are giving permission to torture and destruction to their own executioners. And this is so twisted, so wrong. But they are doing it like all the LGBT people who, proudly support Palestine from the river to the sea and all those crazy genocidal ideas. And I'm non-binary, I'm gay myself. So it's not that, I'm attacking the whole LGBT community. That's so wrong. That's so crazy. That's so illogical. So again, in Christianity, we had this very emotional approach, yes, faith-based. Like when they would be fed to the lions, they would be, oh, I'm doing this for Jesus, I'm so happy, etc. And today, that same crazy, illogical, emotional, and faith-based thing is continuing in the political left. Yeah. Okay, let's take the next quote. Okay, I chose this passage because it's a little satirical, funny, but to also demonstrate the descriptive language of Ayn Rand. So it's a description of a guy, okay, Eugene Lawson, a moocher, okay, a moocher type who is begging for wealth, and he's kind of spineless, etc. His mouth was the one part of him which he could not pull tight at any time. It was uncomfortably prominent in his lean face, attracting the eyes of any listener. When he spoke, the movement ran through his lower lip, twisting its moist flesh into extraneous contortions of its own. Look at that language. Sometimes our features, including facial features, show what we're going through. Like sometimes the chin of the person can be very tight, and it can be emotional. It can be because of some neurosis or lack of something. And how the mouth works, sometimes when it's like this all the time, it can again demonstrate some things, different things. Like sometimes I noticed it in myself, sometimes when I disagree with someone, and I noticed it with others too, like I could be like doing the lips, I don't know, yeah. So it can be disagreement, but sometimes when people are begging, are asking, they're expecting reward or validation from the external world. They can have, those features, like the lip is a little like that, yeah, outwards. Even the neck can, be a little more forward. So those things are pretty interesting. And Ayn Rand was an excellent psychologist. She noticed so many nuances regarding the human mind and body and behavior. And she gave us a lot of interesting things in her book. Thank you to that fourth person who gave me thumbs up. I appreciate every like, guys. I encourage others to do the same, give me thumbs up, and also comment like, where are you joining me from? Are you joining me from the US or from abroad? What time is it? And do you know anything about Ayn Rand and her bestseller, Atlas Shrugged? Okay, next quote. Yes, this psychological thing. So, this conversation is between Henry Reardon, a just and logical businessman, and his wife Lillian, who is a soul digger, not just a gold digger, but a soul spirit digger. So they speak of desire, sexual desire, I'd say. So she's saying, you'd like to buy it. That's all you know, paying for things. You get off easily, don't you? No, it's not as simple as that. What I want is non-material. What is it? You. How do you mean that, Lillian? You don't mean it in the gutter sense. No, not in the gutter sense. How then? She was at the door. She turned. She raised her head to look at him and smiled coldly. You wouldn't understand it, she said and walked out. The torture remaining to him was the knowledge that she would never want to leave him, and he would never have the right to leave. The thought that he owed her at least the feeble recognition of sympathy, of respect for a feeling he could neither understand nor return. The knowledge that he could summon nothing for her except contempt, a strange, total and reasoning contempt, impervious to pity, to reproach, to his own pleas for justice, and hardest to bear, the proud revulsion against his own verdict, against his demand that he consider himself lower than this woman he despised. Again, psychology. The husband, has an affair with another brilliant businesswoman, Dagny. So he is, allegorically speaking, lapidating himself. But what I like in this passage is when Lillian says, you wouldn't understand it. She says, I want you, not just your money. And then he asks her, what do you mean? You don't want me sexually, right? And she says, no. And she says, you wouldn't understand it. So this stance and this idea that if you have some understanding, then it makes you morally superior. And not just that. Hi, Mike. Hello. Where are you joining me from? Not just that, but when someone else is trying to understand and they cannot, and they ask you a question, they are still inferior and you refuse to help them understand because you think you have something like that understanding, like you are chosen, that knowledge is given you from somewhere in a magical way, or intuitively. And this, snobbish attitude, like I'm higher than you, I hold my nose up, and you wouldn't understand. That's not for you. I see this again, among my former leftist colleagues and acquaintances. And individuals I knew, I cannot call them friends. So, but this sense of moral righteousness, like Mother Teresa type of behavior. So, and they don't bother to explain. Yeah, they just think they are superior, and they just live like that without caring to explain. They think that they have some advantage because of that, because of their illogical approach towards life. And they use it to manipulate. They use it to spread seeds of doubt, like so that others be like, oh, what if it's true? What if she is chosen? Or what if she knows more than I do? And I need to abandon my reason and follow her or him or them to enter that kingdom of enlightenment, irrational, illogical, emotional enlightenment, and to understand that, you know. That's used also as a way to accumulate more power and manipulate. All right, I think. Let me think. Shall I take another one? Oh yes, this is a banker. Oh, this is so beautiful, but this is so nice. I think I will leave this next quote for the next time. This is about, again, the economy and how altruism destroys businesses and industries. Very beautiful. So subscribe to my channel. And in the description section, I also left the link to my TikTok profile. I sometimes go live on TikTok where where we can connect and you can talk during the live. So I'll see you guys next time. And thank you for being with me. Thank you to everyone who gave me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Okay. See you next time. Bye bye. Good.